Good afternoon, guys. It's working, bringing you a quick update on Steem. Hope you guys are having a wonderful afternoon. We're looking at Steem to the U.S. Actually, I'm sorry. We're looking at Steem to Bitcoin. This is we're starting on the 1 week chart on Bittrex. Wanted to start bigger picture, guys. Steem clearly has just been getting killed over the last week or so. We can see, looking at this bigger picture, guys, we are testing the prior lows. Here we're starting to get down into that zone where Steem looks like a very, very good buy, possibly. You can see that we're sitting down here currently at about 11.3 Satoshi, 11,300 Satoshi, 11,350 Satoshi, somewhere thereabouts, guys. So again, testing these low demand zones down here, guys, where you would expect it to find some support. If this was a traditional market, I would say this is an absolute good time to start dollar cost averaging in. However, we know that crypto is not a traditional market, and crypto is tied, all these altcoins are very much tied to Bitcoin. So even though it does look like Steem is starting to bottom out, if Bitcoin does drop, Steem is more than likely going to drop as well. If we come over here and we look at the RSI again on the weekly, we can see that the weekly RSI is sitting at all-time lows. Excuse me. So again, guys, suggesting that we may see it may be bottoming out. If we come in here and we look at the weekly histogram started to tick up. We can see that the weekly stock RSI is flatlined there, sitting in oversold territory. So again, possibly a time to start dollar cost averaging in. I pointed this out last time on my last Steem update. If we point in here and look at the daily stock, or excuse me, the daily RSI, we saw that I pointed out it was creating this bearish rising wedge. Told you guys last time that it looked like we could be watching a potential for a major breakdown. That's exactly what ended up happening. If I come zoom back out, guys, look at price. Let me come right back out. One good news, or I should say one possibly, potentially bullish indication. If we come here and we look this point to this point, clearly price created a lower low. We had almost this flash crash right here yesterday, guys, or I should say it's actually on today's candle. This flash crash happened inside of 5 minutes, right about 5 minutes, guys. So I don't put a lot of weight into that, but it's interesting nonetheless. Regardless, we created a lower low on price. If we look in here, we blow up here on the daily RSI. We created a higher low. Clearly, that's bullish divergence. Now, does that mean that again we're seeing bottom? In a traditional market, I would say yes, this is a good time to start dollar cost averaging in. But as I said, guys, this is not a traditional market whatsoever. We're looking at the stock RSI also on the daily starting to get oversold. However, looking at the MACD, we could see the MACD just crossed over again into bearish territory, and looks like it's ticking down. One of the things that I am watching, excuse me, on the MACD, if we pull out here to the 4-hour, and I pointed this out last time, guys, we can see the 4-hour, the MACD and signal line have been trending up. That's been the case since early June, or mid-June, I should say. Creating, every time it comes down, it creates a higher low. We're going to see if that ends up happening this time, guys. If we do get a bounce right here and creates that higher low once again here on the MACD, guys, that's going to be a bullish indication, and once again signaling that we might be getting near the bottom. If that falls right through that ascending support there, then again, guys, it's going to start. Things are going to start to get extremely interesting. So let's zoom in here, look at price very quickly. Let me get rid of this arrow. Pulling out to the daily. And again, I pointed this out on my update a week or so ago. We are reaching this demand zone down here between 11,000 and 9.8 thousand Satoshi. We can see if we come pull back here, that demand zone was created all the way back in December of last year. It's a very strong demand zone. We can see when price, we did have this little flash crash, price came right down, immediately rejected, bulls pushed it right back up, telling you there are a ton of buy orders sitting in this zone. If you are interested in buying Steem, again, knowing that this is tied to Bitcoin, knowing this could come much lower, still, if you are interested in Steem, we are seeing indications that possibly the market is starting to bottom out. Again, this is a possibility. What I would do, I would not go all in. If you are interested, I would start to dollar cost average in. Where would I start to do that? I would start to do it right at the top of this demand zone if price does end up coming down again. So I'd start testing. If you have whatever the amount of money you'd like to invest into Steem, I would divide that up. I'd possibly enter this zone as soon as it hits 11,000 Satoshi, 25%. As soon as it hits 10.6 thousand Satoshi, another 25%. As soon as it comes down again, hits 10.3, 25%. Possibly, and then this zone down here, another 25%. Now, if you wanted to play it safe, you could split that up, call it 15, 15, then 20, 25, and 25. Split it up that way. That's no possibility. Either way, I'd have my stop loss very, very tight, knowing that price could break down at any moment, having my stop sitting here at about 9,700 Satoshi, somewhere thereabouts, knowing that if that does break down, the next major area of support is all the way down here at about 8,000 Satoshi, 9.7 thousand, 8,000 Satoshi, somewhere thereabouts, guys. In the short term, one of the things I'm going to be watching is this trend line here. We can see it a little better here on the 4 hour. We can see that price has respected this descending resistance line many, many times. If we do end up breaking up, if it does test this zone, excuse me, that if you wanted to play a quick scalp, I'd be watching for a bounce off this zone, coming back up, test this resistance line, coming right back down. That'd be a decent scalp. If you wanted to scalp right here, sell right here. If price does break above this descending trend line here, guys, then that's going to be a very bullish sign, possibly a signal that we are getting some shift in momentum towards the bulls. But right now, guys, things are looking extremely, extremely bearish, and I do think that we're going to come back here and test this this demand zone down here again between 11,000 and 9.8 thousand Satoshi. The question is not only, in my opinion, the question is, aren't we going to test it? The question is, how deep is it going to go into that demand zone? Are we going to get a strong bounce right at the top here, and is that going to continue? Or are we going to get a little bounce back off the resistance and back into that demand zone to continue to go deeper? It'll be very interesting to see once price gets down here, other than this major flash crash here. Once we actually get down here, it'll be very interesting to see how price ends up reacting at that point. Watching to the upside, guys, I do think if price does, if and when we do get an influx of volume coming in, when that does change, if that does change, I do think price could very, very quickly rise back up into this order block right here. I do think that's a real possibility if we get an influx of volume coming in. So right between about 12.5 thousand Satoshi and 12.2 thousand Satoshi. I do think that's a real possibility if we get that massive volume coming in, but right now we're not seeing any signs of that at the moment. We come in here and we look at our moving averages. We can see the price, this is on the 4 hour, price is extending to the bottom side of the Bollinger Band, so we can see we're well below the 8-day EMA. Excuse me. Look at the daily as well. We're seeing the exact same thing, very far extended, well below the bottom Bollinger Bands here, and well below the 8-day EMA, guys. In the short term, I would like to see price at least come up and start testing the 8-day EMA on the daily. I'd like to see it get above the 8-day EMA here on the 4 hour chart, without question. And we're not going to see any kind of momentum shift, in my opinion, until we start to see price get above this 21-day EMA. But right now, guys, things are just looking extremely bearish, and of course, we do know that this is all tied to Bitcoin. So I'm staying out of the market right now. I might start dollar cost averaging in if and when we do get this test here at the top of this zone, and I'm just going to wait and see how it reacts. I'm going to probably go in very, very small here at the beginning, maybe 10% of my position on Steem, because I am interested in buying Steem as it gets down into this zone, and then possibly increasing my position to 20% depending on how price reacts at that zone. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it there, guys. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comment section below. As always, I would appreciate an upvote or a like or a re-steam depending on where you're viewing this. And until next time, guys, please trade safe, take care of yourselves. This is Working, signing out.